All right. Hey, everybody. In the greenhouse today, we are dealing with a bit of power outage here in Michigan. I'm up in western Michigan. We had power went out, so you may hear the generator going in the background there. If not, no worries. We're all fine here. So that's part of what we do. Make sure, yep, volume's on. We're good to go. Green light's on. Things are happening. So today is doing a little bit of organization today. I got yesterday, for those of you who joined me on the live stream while I was planting my peas and everything. That was great. It was a good time. Had some really good conversation with some folks there. So thank you for that, whoever played along. Get up there, you. All right. Anyways, that was good. Got some peas planted. Got my brassicas out. Got my lettuce. All of that's out. Have my peas also. I set up 3 different pea trellises. So you want to see that? That was on yesterday's live. It's out. You can go find it on some of businessguys.com. If you subscribe, you can go back and see it on the channel there under the gardening guy stuff. So today really is organizing, and then I'm going to be getting some tomato seeds planted because I've got flowers over here on this side that they're up. They've got their, oops, there we go. A little more thinning needs to happen. So these are zinnias that my mom wanted to do. So these are all up that are going to come up, and they've been thinned. Hold on. Now they've been thinned, this one. So they have been thinned. So they can come off of basically the warming pads here and move them over here. I've got plenty of them are doing well here. I don't know if any of these are oregano. These oreganos are doing okay. I got a few that are making it. They're struggling a little bit. Just been a little, is where they're at. So I just place them down there for now. So anyways, I've got the zinnias here. That one's done too. Oh, a little bit more thinning. There we go. Zinnias, and I've got cleomes over here. We'll come I'll give you guys a closer look in a second. Those need to come out. The impatiens are on their second leaves. They're getting there, so they still need to stay here for probably a little bit longer. The rest of these are okay where they're at. I just need to clear out some space here as well. Like this has got my cucamelons are going, and for those who haven't seen cucamelons, they look like this. They're little. I've never grown them before, so we're in uncharted territory for Ryan right now. But I'm giving this a shot here. These cucamelons. But I've got oregano. I got some basil. The basil's getting ready to move out probably this weekend. I've got a spot for it in the garden. We're just gonna drop it out there. It's onto its second leaves already, so it's adult leaves, so it can definitely get set up. So this will be clearing out. So I'm kind of in that transition period where I've got my cold weather stuff going. Has basically been moving out there. Now it's time to start my early summer stuff, which is going to be mostly tomatoes. I've got squash and zucchini. I'll show you that in a second. That's been doing its thing. So biggest thing today is just going to be kind of getting my workspace transitioned over here into the transition side, which I've got. You can see I got some of my these are, what is this one here? Okay, this is a Mexican sunflower. I've got a whole group of them over here, which take a look at here. Zip over. These are Mexican sunflowers. They're basically ready to go out. I just need the weather to behave and basically agree with me. We're still got some colder mornings, so I just don't want anything out that isn't going to be basically going to be able to do well. So I plan this greenhouse is going to end up being pretty well packed until beginning of May, middle of May, something like that. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mia. Appreciate that. But so this is going to be pretty well packed through this whole thing. I just want to, I'm just trying to organize now. I got my snake plants over here. I just didn't want them in the house anymore. Let's bring them out here into this goodness. So, all right. So I'm going to work on organizing, just chat a little bit, talk you through what I'm doing. Bring this over here. Maybe you guys can watch a little bit closer, kind of see what I'm doing. Again, organization is as my wife has taught me over the years, is super important. So we want to have that figured out. Okay. And then I've got these, basically the styrofoam insulation pads that I try to put underneath all of my plants. So, what you got for? But try to have, like, say, an insulation under all my plants, just so that way they're not sitting on, sitting on the wood or anything where they have. It just kind of helps them out because we do get some colder mornings here still in Michigan. All right, so there's that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of rotate everything around here. Oh, it's cool. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. This is my little greenhouse here. It'd be nice here in about a month or so I can get this stuff off of here, my insulation, and just let all the sunlight through. And then I'm going to work on actually getting some additional insulation. Where are you at, Mia? So where are you watching from? Let's see. I'm listening. I'm just kind of working as I'm going here. All right. Because, you know, we're here. I'm here in basically Western Michigan, right about there on the map. And we just had some storms come through, but knocked out our power. You can hear my generator. It's not sure what just kicked on. Maybe it might have been our heater. It decided to wake up. So, oh, in Florida, yeah. So it is a balmy. Oh, by the way, are you a subscriber? Have you subscribed yet to me? It's 60 degrees here today, just FYI, in Michigan. So, you know, it's nice weather for us. It's probably, you got parkas on and stuff in Florida, be my guess. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to get your subscription for sure. Be able to earn that today. So these that I'm moving over here, all of this, when it comes to the plants I'm moving, these are dwarf marigolds that my mom wanted to do. She wanted some marigolds. I want some from around the property as well, just because deer hate them. We have a deer issue here, but also the, you know, for all the bees and everything and all the pollinators, give them something to eat. So I've got 3 trays here with, it's probably about 150 dwarf marigolds. So there's gonna be marigolds all over the place. Marigolds for days, as I like to say. Okay, so we got that. These a try. There, that's what I wanted. Just, let me pop the bottom off of these. We got these, and I just need to get the bottom off of this spot. So anyways, like I was saying, I'm just moving stuff around in the greenhouse today to get it kind of organized here. Like I said, I've got my winter or my early season stuff out. You can see my video yesterday where I was live streaming. I was talking with some guy from Abu Dhabi while we were doing it. It's pretty interesting conversation. So that's what I like about doing these live streams too, because, you know, a lot of folks, they don't get to, you get to interact instead of just doing the long form videos, which are fine and all, but, you know, we all want to talk to people, right? So it gives me a chance to chat with folks. And again, for those that don't know what I do, I'm actually I'm a business coach. So that's what I do during the day, and then it's basically when I'm finished, I get to come out here, work on the garden, the greenhouse, and stuff like that. So, all right, so here's my zinnias that my mom wanted me to do. So here's them. See, they're all onto their second. Their adult leaves have started coming on, so we've got that. But they're ready to come over to this side, the greenhouse. They do not need to have the warming trays anymore. I'm going to need those for my tomatoes for sure. Next up are my cleomes, which before I move them, let's make sure they don't have to be thinned. It looks like we're all set here. Oh, got a couple that need to be thinned here real quick. So I got my cleomes. Show you these guys. I don't even remember what they look like, to be honest, but my mom wanted these. She gave me like a package of them. I think she deadheaded a few of them. So, you know, this is a cell with 72 in them. I don't think she's going to need 72 cleomes. So I'll be putting some of these out and then also just have them out for my neighbors if they want them. So these go over here. Next up, so this just about out of space. Go figure. This is the best life here. I like this idea that I'm running out of space. That means I got a lot of stuff growing, and that makes me happy. So So let's see. Next up on here, I got this and I got this. These are, oh, I've got these. These can go over there, I think. This will help me kind of consolidate a bit. So these are called hollyhock. They are a perennial, but they take 2 years to. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's 6 by 6 by 16. So I'm still setting it up, trying to figure it out. Actually, I've got a whole set of double shelves like I have on the other side. I still have to build. I've just been kind of lazy about that. But so these are called hollyhock. They end up being pretty tall, but these are. Sorry, I was speaking Russian. Well, oh, so what were you saying in Russian there? Was that? Is that Mo Lovely Woman? What were you saying in Russian? Hopefully it was something nice, I'm hoping. I'm sure it was. Why wouldn't you? I mean, we're in a greenhouse having a good time. So anyways, these hollyhock, they end up, they're 2 years. They're perennial, but they take 2 years to flower. They end up pretty big. They're tall flowers. I think I may have, no, I don't have any pictures of these. I'm going to put these over here. Let me move my beans out of the way here. So I've got pole beans that I'll be putting out. These guys, after I put down my insulation here, we'll round out this. So if you guys come take a look at this, we'll do a little walking tour of this here. Oh, so cool. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. I'm not sure if have you been on my stream before? So with that, you know, again, I'm out here pretty much every day around this time, give or take, doing something in the greenhouse or the garden. So if you like this stuff, yeah, by all means, hop on here and make sure you subscribe. Give me a like, share with your friends if you're finding some value out of this. So let's do a quick little tour down the way here. Let me lower this down a little bit. Sorry about the up close on my face. All right, so right here, again, these are Mexican sunflower. I think I have a picture of those. Yeah, here you go. So those are these are Mexican sunflowers. They look like this. They end up in a bush that is basically 5 to 7 feet tall, and it is a whole bunch of flowers that come off it. Basically like a bush where it comes out. So I'm going to put these all around the property. Let's see how they go. I appreciate the saying my favorite YouTube. I think you probably might want to look at some more YouTubes, but I appreciate that. Thank you. So that's those. Again, these are the marigolds that I was doing earlier down here. And you see I got 3 trays of them, and then we got the hollyhocks over here. I've moved the zinnias to the back end here. And then on this end over here, these are the cleomes. Again, I should probably get a picture of those because, you know, I just want to be able to say that. So I'm very thankful for the greenhouse today, though, because it is only 60 degrees out, which isn't terrible for this time of year in Michigan, but it's a balmy 70 in here right now. A whole bunch of humidity, which we like. Big fans. So put these here. All right. So I'm going to kind of walk you through the process for those who don't know and haven't done it. We're going to do the same thing we always do when we talk about same thing we always do whenever we talk about filling up our seed pots. Basically, those each one of our little cells that we have here. Because when we're talking about our potting mix and our potting soil and what we use for these, I had to empty these out yesterday of all my my cold weather stuff. There's a method we use for this to make sure that is done well. So very important that we do that. Because again, when you're dealing with, you know, potting mix, potting soil, and seed starting mixture, whatever you have, it's hygroscopic. It does not like to hold on to water. So these guys here, I'm going to move these out here. Just for now, move these down here. You guys stay put right there. I'm not going to step on you, I promise. You guys have all come up, so you don't need to be watered as much. Yeah, so you're good here. Also going to move you up here. All right. so big deal on this when you are setting up your plants, basically your seeds for starting them here. To look at this is you want to make sure that you're getting, maybe this one's easier. You want to make sure you have the under tray, which is no holes in it. It's meant to hold water. So you bottom water all of your seedlings. What that does is it makes the roots want to come down to the water. So you end up filling instead of them going up when you're top watering like it's rain. But that also means, so that way when you're not dumping water on top of the soil once we have it in here, which breaks up the, which can bring the seeds back up to the surface. It just kind of makes a mess, you know what I mean? Or, you know, it keeps them from being where they need to be. So let me check one thing here. Oh, look at that, Mia. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, by all means, please do. Please do. Like I said, it helps. You know, it helps the algorithm. Helps get me in front of people, especially on the shorts when people are coming through and they're flipping through like, what the heck's going on? And you know, I do this specifically because, you know, we have a lot of folks here that, you know, they want to know how to do these things. But when you go to like YouTube, there aren't a lot of folks that do it live and talk people through in real time. So, you know, that's my plan on this. So let's talk about the tomatoes that we're going to be doing before I get into the seeds and marking them up and everything. So, all right. So I have got, I'm going to do San Marzanos, which they're like Roma tomatoes. They're a little bit firmer. They're really good for, I'm going to be canning those and also making some sauce out of it. Mostly just stewing them and canning them. I'm going to do 2 packets of those. I want a big chunk of those. I already have some tomatoes started. As far as I've got these, which are, well, it's going to be hard to say with the pole here. Let's do it this way. Probably going to be easier. I've got some Early Girls, which are, you know, basically a slicing tomato. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. Those some Early Girls, which are a slicing tomato, and those are a little over 2 months in. And then I've got these red beefsteak, which are another type of slicing. Obviously, they're much bigger. Set there. Then, but these are 80 days to harvest. So when I get these out, basically they're meant to be done around August time frame, mid to late August. Well, they'll be ready. Pull them all in, lots of sunshine, can them up. That'd be great. With that, I need to have cherry tomatoes, and I like these ones that they've got a really good flavor to them. I like them when they have this little bit of color to them as well. They just look nice in the salad, you know what I mean? And lastly is going to be these are Tasty Treats. So I have tomatoes that'll be ready. It's already starting to flower, so we should have some fruiting here in the next basically next couple weeks. So I'll have one set fruiting, then I'll have another variety fruiting, and these are all indeterminate. So they will just keep growing and producing as long as I keep providing support to the vine. They'll just keep on going. So I'm going to have basically stuff fruiting here pretty quick. And like these are, you know, these are 75, 80 days to harvest, but I have some other cherry tomato stuff that are going to be just going as well. So long story short, I'm going to have a lot of tomatoes. I like tomatoes, good vitamin C. You know, they're pretty tasty. I like to have them around. So those two will go here. That goes there. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot here. Okay, so, sun's starting to come out. So the temperature's gone up like 10 degrees in here. Hey, Urban, what's up? Welcome. Good to see you. Haven't missed out on anything yet. Just gotten warm in here. I know I'm a little later than usual. I had some later client calls that I'm north to. So everybody say hi to Urban. But yeah, it's good to see you here. Whew. And that heated up in a hurry. That sun came out and we just got warm. Okay. So same thing as usual here. You know, nothing new. What do I want to do this here? Let me flip one of these over so I'm not having to lean down as much. I'm still gonna have to lean down some, but I can at least set it up kind of, you know. Oh, it took nothing. Potting tomatoes while watching. That's what I'm talking about. So do you got some? Well, you got some seedlings that are out there. What kind did you do? That's pretty cool. I love hearing what people are planting. Seedlings. What kind are they? You got some You got some slicing tomatoes. They got some cherry tomatoes. What are you? These are going to be on your. These are your balcony ones. Is that correct? Sure, I don't step on these guys. They're out here living their best life. What do we got here? Oh, Dark Galaxy. Oh, there you go. Pink Ponderosas. White beefsteak will be yum. Amish paste. Okay, yeah, that Dark Galaxy. They've got such a you know, and those are purple, right? Those are the purple heirloom, correct? If I remember correct. If I'm incorrect, please please let me know. But I think that's what those are, right? Flat creme. Yeah, the dark purple. You know, they look really nice, but I don't really like to eat them all that much. It's kind of, you know, but they look so pretty. But yeah, there's but you know, each their own. It's one of the things where I've had them. I was like, you know, it's not my jam. Oh, first time growing. Okay. I mean, you'll like them. They look amazing when you're doing them. But like I said, it's just one of those things when you go to bite into them, you're like, what is this? So, all right. So again, for those walking through this, we've got, that's good for you. That's a lot. You're going to have a full balcony there of tomatoes. That's going to look pretty cool. All right. For those of you who haven't watched me do this a few times, when we're dealing with potting soil, seed starting mix, whatever, what you want to do is you want to always pre-moisten it. Put it in a bucket and get some water. Non-GMA one. There you go. Yep. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, we always pre-moisten our mix whenever we're doing it. It just makes everything easier across the board when you do that. So, because they say, you know how that is when you put the stuff and you get it into your individual pods, it just doesn't put the water on it. It just kind of sits on top. We don't want that. We want to get that ahead of time. So give it a good soaking here. And what's really nice is when this is done ahead of time, especially in the greenhouse here, and you'll notice as I'm walking around doing a little tour here, you know, as we're doing these things, you'll see I have a lot of standing water all over the place in the greenhouse, and that's intentional. Like I have a lot of just open water to keep it humid in here, and it also just kind of helps retain, retain heat throughout the evening, because it does cool down here quite a bit. You know what I mean? Like we should have some mornings that'll be down to 34, 30 this week, and we're going to be bouncing back and forth between super cold and, you know, and then nice moderate. I mean, it was 50 when I woke up this morning here. So there's just that time of year where it just depends where the low pressure system and how it's spinning, whether it's spinning warm air up from Florida where Mia's at, or cold air down from Toronto and those areas, you know, or, you know, Alberta, all those other areas. So, okay. So let's get a good start here. We got basically got this. I don't have too much water coming out of it, which is good. Give it a good squeeze. All right, and then we're just going to go through the motions of filling these up. And the best to get them in there, just load them up. But yeah, yesterday was great though. We were out in the sunshine. It was a couple hours. I was out working on my peas. So if you hadn't had a chance to watch that from yesterday, that was a pretty fun stream. It was a longer one that I've done. We got a lot of work done out there. Like I said, I got my 3 little trellises setups for my peas. And so what I did is I had some peas that I started in here. So they are 4 weeks in that are out and currently up. You know, they're about yay tall. So I've got them. I planted another row, started another row of peas. So they'll be a few weeks behind, and then I've got another set 2 weeks from now. I'll start again. So, you know, with the idea that with peas, I want to have, you know, some ready to harvest here, but I'm going to have an overlapping group of them that are going to be ready to go. So I can basically have, well, 1, fresh peas all the time, but 2, I like to just have those peas as snacks while I'm here working. Whew, man, that sun came out. I got to open the door here. It got toasty in a hurry. My goodness. Sorry about that. Let me step out. We all can hear that generator thing is earning its paycheck right now. All right, that door will help bring some of that heat down. So, all right, so with this, when you get your, so I've got my pre-moistened pods that are all full up. The next thing you do, you got to make sure, this is something that, why we pre-moisten them, you give them a little pat down, because you will find some like that one where there's air pockets, and your seedlings do not like air pockets. So always give them your pre-moistened, basically a little love tap to, you're not trying to compress too much, you're just trying to compress the air pockets that are there. So that way when that seedling, because it's got enough energy in that first, when, it sends out that first tap root just to get set. And then you end up with hits an air pocket, it's going to be like, well, now what? I got nothing to grab a hold of, and then nothing for it to go get energy from, or it's going to have to work hard to send off a separate root, something like that. So no air pockets. They slow things down. So anyways, got this one. Gonna reload this one up real quick. Actually, you know what? If I remember correctly, these should be about 1/4 inch. Let me touch these all up. When it comes to tomatoes, obviously they don't really go all that deep, so it's not like it's a. But I do want to have these full all the way up, because these guys, they are going to be in this. These are going to be in here for 6 weeks, living the best life. So we want to make sure that they're good to go. All right, so there's one down. So that's good there. All right, on to our next one. Again, just a reminder, for those just showed up again, we are with our seed starting mix that we pre-moisten it, so it goes in nice and easy. So, like I said, it's hygroscopic. The stuff does not like to get a hold of water. But you put it in the bucket and do it, it's all good. So, how's the weather up there today, Urban? You getting all that wind, and you guys getting all the rain and stuff coming through? We got it over the course of the last day. It should be hitting you here shortly, I'd imagine. So, yeah, because it was last night with the pups. They were, my dogs, they were literally snoring through, a hell of a lot of wind and lots of stuff here. So windy and freezing. Put the heat back. Yep, sounds about right. Yeah, it's been windy. The wind's finally died. There we go. All right, back. Sorry about that. Yeah, rain today and tomorrow. Yeah, we pretty much had a day full of rain. So here, almost a full. It was probably 18 hours of rain on and off. But today we actually had, we had some thunder boomers come through when I was recording my my business show. Again, for those also who don't know, I'm a business coach during the day, and I have a show. It's called Small Business News that I do, and I pretty much every day during the week I have it out there. So, but yeah, we had some thunder going off while I was trying to do it today. It was pretty entertaining, to say the least. But all right, doing good today though. Been a good day. I had a Rotary board, so like I say, I was on the Rotary. We were having our discussions. We're getting into our big season as far as fundraising, and just because we do a lot of work. Yep, it just hit 90 degrees in here in my 8 minutes when that sun kicked on. Woof. All right, so there's that. That's good. Those are in a good spot. You can see I worked up a little bit of sweat pretty quick there. All right. Got to lose the gloves for this, because tomato seeds, as we all know, are they're pretty small. Hey, what's happening, little Cody? What's up with you? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. All right, so I'll clean that up in a second. Actually, this can go in here. Yeah, for those, actually, you know what? Where's Urban? You were on. I'm planting some tomato seeds right now, little Cody. Hey, Urban, you were on when I did the squash, right, and the zucchini. We were doing that a couple days ago. Were you on that stream? I can't remember or not. I think you were. Where I got the yellow squash and the zucchini. I have an update on those. Not sure. I know. I plan a lot of stuff, but check this out. So, actually, I'll bring you guys over to it. It's probably easier. Just got some water in there. Yeah. So, I had, where we at? Right here. So this is my yellow squash and my zucchini. How quickly they popped up and how big they got in a hurry. So I'm going to be transplanting those big boys. Probably in the next, probably this weekend, to be honest. Let them get a little bit overstuffed in there and go from there. Yeah, I know they popped up really quick. It was a pleasant surprise. We'll put it that way. So, all right. Now I'm going to start from this area right here. See if I can get this in. I got my containers kind of in the way. You guys kind of watch what I'm working on here. Okay, cool. And then this one's there. We'll do this one first. So right now, what I'm going through here is I'm going to do the San Marzano in here, and I want to try to get. I didn't order enough San Marzano this year, so I'm not sure how many I got. I didn't check them ahead of time, so fingers crossed. I've got, a fair amount in here. What do we got? Okay. Well, there's a few. These are all viable seeds. That's what I do like about when I do go through Burpee. I know that, I'm going to have well over a 90% rate of germination. Now these are all basically 1/4 inch. Who's that guy? Get you out of there. So that guy was going to be trouble. Come back, put some more on top of you. So I got, these are all a 1/4 inch. I'm going to do these San Marzano here. I've got 3. Let's just get started on them. And I'm doing 1 per because, like I said, I know these are viable seeds. I'm not too worried here. They'll take. Nope. There. Yep. So yeah, got toasty in here. Oh, you took a break? Good for you. I mean, like I was saying, you gotta do your different stuff. When it's funny because when people were coming over, there was like, hey, last year, hey, can I get some of your grab some of your aromas? And I'm like, those are San Marzano. And they're like, what's the difference? And I was like, oh, well, let me talk you through it. And they're like, okay, well, they look like Roma, so we're gonna call them Roma. I just kind of laughed about that. I was like, all right, that works for you, works for me. I'm an easy person like that, as long as you enjoy the food. But so, anyways, it looks like I'm gonna have plenty of stuff this year for my neighbors too, which I'm excited about. I do like to share with my neighbors. I remember you talking about sharing with some of your neighbors too. That was pretty funny. All right, so let's get these last 5 in here. 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, so that takes care of this row. Do my next bit here. So yeah, other than that, today, like I was saying, today I had a few client calls as well too. Those went really well. I got to catch up with one COO, one of the chief operating officers that I work with. I hadn't talked to him in a while. We talked during our meetings, but it was just one-on-one. So that was nice to catch up. I do miss those days where I was like second in command. It's a lot of fun to be the second person in charge of within a business. So there's a lot of goodness there. So. Oh, my favorite plant? I got asked that before. I really love thyme. I know it's weird to say that, but thyme is a plant. It's my favorite. The German thyme that I have one growing out in my garden that I overwintered and everything. It's a perennial, so it's a bush. It's German thyme. It smells so good. It's a little bit different than the thyme that we use here in the States quite a bit, but it is just hands down my favorite. When I lived in Italy, I had a German thyme plant that was like right outside on our property at our first house, and man, was that ever great. That's why I got introduced to it. So when I got back and I was trying to grow thyme, other thyme that they had, and people were like, oh, here you go, and I get the plant. I was like, ugh, this isn't right. What's wrong here? And so I had to do some experimenting to figure out. How about you? How about you, Cody? What's your favorite? And I don't have, and I'm not growing any electric lettuce this year, if anybody's asking. Not this year, at least. Next year, there might be a little something growing in here, but my mom's first year with me around here, so try to play nice, right? Not trying to certify all of her thoughts about me. Cool. So this one actually had double the amount of the last one, so that is a nice. Okay. Nice little surprise, but that makes things nicer. So I want to have a bunch of San Marzanos this year. Watermelon and tomato, yeah. So I grew watermelon last year. I'm not going to do it this year. It just took too dang long to get ready. But yeah, tomatoes are great. They're such a. I was telling the guy in Dubai yesterday who was on the stream to he's like, hey, what should I start with? I'm like, man, everybody starts with tomatoes. It's like the tomatoes are the gateway drug for for gardeners. It seems to be tomato and basil. Some sort of easy herb like that. Everybody grows some basil. Like I said, are the gateway drugs. You start with those, like, oh, maybe I can try this next or that or whatever, and then you get into the the really fun stuff after that. But I'm from a family of farmers, so this is just kind of like what my family does. We don't, my family has transitioned to Longhorn cattle, is what my uncle, he took over the farm, what he grows, or he raises, I should say. It grows, good Lord. So, yeah, we're going to be good here. Do that one. Cool, I got a whole tray of San Marzano. That makes me happy. We'll put that one right there. Cool. All right, that'll make that a lot easier to keep track of. So let's go ahead and cover them up so they're good. But anyways, they moved over to Longhorn cattle is what they raise now. And some of them are for show animals, i.e. like people get them just to have around the property because they look pretty darn cool. Then other people that they raise them for burger. They're not really all that good for steak. Longhorn, they don't have much marbling, so you go to chomp into it, it's basically just a pretty rough cut for steak. So jalapeno, I have done jalapeno. Yeah, jalapenos are good. They're another one of those gateway ones. To be honest, if you want to, you can pick up that look. They have it like the home centers or even like the Walmarts and stuff like that. They have pico de gallo kits that you can get that will come with onion, they come with tomato, and with jalapenos. So you can just kind of get all the seeds in one, and they'll all of those will grow perfectly on your balcony if you have a balcony, or you put them in and you pot them. They'll grow perfectly. So in there. Now the thing with tomato seeds, when you're doing them, by the way, just for anybody watching here, when you're doing tomatoes and peppers, they don't like to stay wet all the time. So you kind of want the best germination for them is you start them off moist and then you let it kind of dry out a little bit and then bring in. So I don't have as much water as I normally put in these, and I'm going to be waiting basically to make sure that tray is completely dried out, and then I'll rewater. And that's kind of the way peppers are. They'll still germinate if it's wet. Don't get me wrong, if it's moist, but they will germinate faster. Was that okay? Ranchers now, yeah. They still farm though, because we've got like they've got hundreds of acres that we still farm for that they do. We don't have like open range for them. So there's corn. There's still hay. They also grow sorghum and everything that they use for feed. So there's still farming that goes on, especially with like the corn, because you've got to you know, be able to bring that out, you know, to feed them there. So we got all the acreage. We just don't have like free range, if that makes sense. So there's still farming that goes on. Like my grandpa or my uncle and both my uncles, the two that work on the farm, one that owns it and one that just works there, they're driving by the house all the time. Yeah. I'm in Michigan, actually. That right about there. So if you're familiar with it, no, actually this way for you guys, right about there. So yeah, Western Michigan, basically right up against Lake Michigan. So let me fill out my little thing for this, because I won't mix it up, but you know, all tomato plants look exactly the same. So San Marzano and Mars, and today is, what is today? 17th. 4/17. So yeah, I'm up in Michigan, and so where I'm at, we go from cool yuck weather basically to blazing hot in the course of basically like a week up here. You know, so we get that Midwest type weather where, I mean, it's go 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 go, and then all of a sudden, like you're like, man, we're in about frost, and then you don't see 30 degrees for 5 months, and then in the spring, all of a sudden, or in the fall, it just goes from nice, warm, temperate, and then it's 28 degrees when you wake up. Literally over the course of like a week, the bottom falls out. So, all right. So, I guess as a reminder for folks here, you know, I'm going to do 2 different types of tomatoes here. So I'm going to have this one. First one's going in is going to be, this one is going to be the honeycomb hybrid. And these are, so with this, and just quick note on these are, when you're getting your tomatoes, you know, tomatoes are definitely one of the things to keep in mind. You need to make sure you know what type you're getting, not just is it a cherry tomato or is it a slicer or whatever. You want to be able to look on the back for this word. Either basically is it indeterminate or determinate? Okay. Oh, well, you're in North Carolina. Yesterday it was about 85 days. I know, and I hate this time of year, just the way it swaps back and forth. So, but that's what I like about the greenhouse here. Okay, so remember when I was saying it got up to 90? Now with the door open and the sun's gone down again, we're back to 70 degrees in here. Anyways, so I love about this greenhouse. So with that, just understanding what type of tomato plant you're buying. Either there's determinate, which means they grow to a certain height and that's it. And once they fruit, they're done. They're spent. And then there's indeterminate, which means it'll grow for an indeterminate amount. It's a vine that you can just keep supporting and growing. And so probably, I don't know, in a couple of weeks, I'll have a, you know, when I'm working out in the garden or I'm doing anything, I do a live stream like this. So if you haven't subscribed, and if you do, please, great. If you like what you're seeing here, obviously thumbs up or little hearts and things I always appreciate. If you like what's happening here, but be subscribed and hit your notifications, because when I go live, it's just when I'm working out in the garden, typically in the afternoon, and you'll get that notification and you'll get to see where I'm going to be building out, in the case of my tomatoes, multiple basically support systems that I'm going to have in my garden, which is just that direction. If we're done here in a little bit, I'll take you guys out and show you kind of stuff I did with my peas yesterday. But so anyways, yeah, so make sure you do that. I think you'll really, and I do it live stream. So while I'm doing real time, you know, if I'm screwing something up, y'all going to get to watch when I make mistakes. So for instance, this weekend I did show you guys, just walk out here real quick and show you on my garden shed. So what I did is I put my solar panels, excuse me, I ran solar panels, and let's see, make sure you can see me here. I get right back in the right spot here. There we go. So I did solar panels and hooked it up to my inverter, my battery, so I've got power out in my shed now. So charging up my tools or anything else, like I've got my weed eater and stuff that's out there, rather than back to my garage back and forth to power it. I'm just going to have it out there. So anyways, you're going to see me set up the trellises for these, and these are going to be done with studs 2x3s. What I did with my peas were done with my, and actually Urban, if you're still on there, you're going to get to see kind of how I did my first bit with using my sunflower stalks. Remember I was telling you how I was going to use those in the garden? So those are getting used. So, all right, so these should be 1/4 inch as far as the transplant. Yep, 1/4 inch. And thing keep in mind of this, they'll tell you when you're going through here, just remember, they're going to tell you where you want the temperature to be in your soil. Okay, so I keep everything on these warming trays, so it keeps the soil hovering around 70 degrees, which is where these, again, tomatoes and a lot of plants, they want to be. This year was really an interesting, I don't want to say more of an adventure for me, trying to figure out, because this was Ryan trying to learn how to do petunias, because they are fickle little jerks as far as I'm concerned, getting them to grow. And it was a challenge to get the first set. I lost most of them. The next 2 sets though, no problem whatsoever. It was petunias for days coming out. But that was my thing. And the warming trays, you know, they're really important. They make all the difference. All the difference, because you just keep the little covers on them and there's lots of happiness. But like here, where it started warming up sooner than normal, I lost an entire 2 trays of seedlings because I didn't get out here. Like I was out here, but the seeds hadn't come up yet, and the sun came out and I was busy. I didn't get a chance to get out, so it ended up roasting my seeds, which was a pain. Didn't like that at all. So yeah, all right, let's see how many of these guys we got. Oh yeah, we got plenty in here. So I'm going to try to, I don't think I'm going to have 24 in here, but we'll see what we can do. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, come on, 12, 13, come on, give me 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so we're just go back through here and kind of double these up a little bit. Oh yeah, the cucumbers. Yeah, they're actually, yeah, set. I got 4 trays of them right here for the cucumbers. So these are going to be growing. I'm actually going to have these need to be repotted here in about a week or so. I'm going to let them get kind of stuffy in there and then cycle them down. I'm going to set them up in some other plants. I'm going to grow cucumbers inside the greenhouse here for a while, then before I start them outside, get them rolling. So we're going to have my goal is basically just have a jungle growing in here this year. And then I've got my, what do I got here? Oh, I just ordered some, oh goodness, come on, Ryan, mums as well. So I got mums that are on the way. I'm gonna start mums. So by the way, I hate mums. They're like, I can't stand them, but they're nice. They're nice in the autumn, and you know, they're for the pollinators more than anything. I mean, they do look pretty for if you like those sort of flowers. Again, they're my least favorite. Anybody knows me know I can't stand mums, but it's a thing around here. People want to have mums, so I'm just going to grow a bunch and we'll put them everywhere. Which I found my neighbors really like them. So, you know, my neighbors like them. I'll have them out. So on that, let me put a little bit more soil in this guy too, right here. It's a little bit more. There we go. All right. So the next one we're going to have, actually, let me mark those because Ryan will forget. Ryan is very forgetful. What do we call these ones? These were the honeycomb hybrid honeycomb. I'm going to put, we'll put cherry on there just so I know. Although I'll be able to tell pretty quick once they're up. Like honeycomb cherry, which they're not really, but honeycomb cherry, $4.17 for today's date. Cool. Just put that right in the middle for them. All right, so back to this piece. Next one is going to be these. These are a tasty treat. All right, these excuse me. So I'll give you a quick little. They are full abundant clusters of bite-sized, bright red 1 ounce fruits. Oh, so these are both going to be. So these are 2 different types of the basically cherry tomatoes, which are going to be nice. So I got some big boys. I got some other ones, and I'm more than likely going to start some other ones as well too. So we're just going to be going nuts here with little tomatoes all over the place. I got those. Actually, I may do just 2 of these. And yeah, there we go. So quick change. So I'm going to do basically just 10 of these. So 2 rows of this. And then we're going to come in and finish up with these these right here, which are the early bird. These are slicers, okay? Because I've got a couple beef steaks in there that are doing their thing, which are going to get me there. And I got a whole thing of Marzanos. Those are going to be so pretty. I'm going to look just like on The Godfather. If you remember when he died, when Vito Corleone died in The Godfather, he was working on his tomatoes, and it was a whole stack of Marzanos. So I don't plan on dying while I'm working on mine, just FYI. So, all right, so let's get these tasty treats. Row of 2 of these. Woo! This for days. And I'm going to be. So with that, also, folks, again, if you've been following along here and you made sure to like, subscribe, you're also going to see how I save my seeds as well too. I have some that I saved from last year, but I'm testing out these other varieties just to see what's going to work before I start, going nuts on this, because let's just get a bunch in here. There we go. Before I get a bunch in here, because I really don't know what's going to be working in my garden too well. It's one of those things. It's a new garden. Again, only been in the property for a couple of years now, and like last year was the first year with the garden, and the area where I had some of them where stuff should have done well didn't do well, and the area where I wasn't where I it was just basically backwards from what I expected it to be, which it's all part of figuring out your space, right? Where I expected the tomatoes to do well, they did not do well. They underperformed, and actually everything did. And the one side that I thought was going to do well, and it did not happen. So that was learning for me. Okay, so next, these are tasty treats. So what I just put in there were these right here, tasty treats, little cherry tomatoes. So tasty treat, tasty treat, cherry. Put cherry. That's so I know what they are. All right, so those are good there. And then the last bit we're going to do are these here, which are, like we talk about here, these are the Burpee early pick. These are, again, hybrid. These are also indeterminate. Just remember on that, it's important to know what type they are. And these, again, 5 to 6 ounce fruit. So good little slicers to have, just like they show in the picture. Good little slicers if you want to. Unfortunately, I don't like saying I've recently moved away from gluten, not because I don't love bread. It's just I got to the age where all of a sudden my body's like, hey, friend, you're going to feel like it's going to feel like you're having a hangover if you have gluten. So you're going to need to move away from that stuff, which is wild to me that occurred, because my entire life has been, gluten is my friend. And to turn around and then be in a position to where all of a sudden, like, gluten isn't something that I have in my life, it was a little rough. But and I just found it out because me and the wife, we were, I make rice a lot at the house. We kind of got used to having rice quite a bit when we were living over in Guam and in Hawaii. So we just wanted to have fresh rice, some jasmine rice. And I did like a week where I was just having rice and I didn't have any bread, just for reasons. And I started feeling really good, like really different. So I was like, oh, looks like gluten might be an issue. And lo and behold, when I tried gluten again, like I said, it felt like I was having a hangover. And I don't drink, so that was undesirable to say the least to not be able to have gluten. But again, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Got to make adjustments in life. All right, so we're on about an hour right now, which is cool. And I got my tomatoes done basically. So these got these into the words. Come on, Ryan, use your words. Got them into the mix. They are getting covered up nicely. Nice, just a nice gentle cover more than anything. Help them through here. All right, there's that. And we'll label these. Then labeled, and then these are the early pick hybrid. These are 60 days. 60 days. All right, and these are another indeterminate that's out there, so that's pretty cool. All right, sorry, I just got a notification. They're still working on getting my internet taken care of. Little do they know that I have a different service that I use as a backup for my business, and that's what we're on right now is my business Wi-Fi. Where I actually do a lot of my stuff from. Be on the safe side. Okay, so these are done. Add these to my trash pile over here. Let's see. There's those. These guys can come back up here just to help keep them comfortable. Share the warmth here. Now, if you don't have one of these, I highly recommend you can get them. They're really nice for basically measuring how your depth for your planting. So you're not eyeballing them because I don't know, like I'm saying, the seeds are a little particular when it gets to their size. I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world if you get it wrong. They'll still come up, but you know, every little extra bit of work, the effort they have to put in, that's going towards them growing and maturing and getting you closer to, you know, tasty, delicious fruits. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at how you're doing your keep these guys here. All right, this is here. These don't have very much longer in here, but we'll have anybody that I put over here that I'm worried about. None of them I'm worried about. None of you I'm worried about. All right, so let's see. I'm going to do some cleanup here, reorganization, because yeah, it's that time. Just want to make sure that I've got this kind of picked up, straightened up a little bit here. Things gotten a little unruly in the greenhouse here, and I don't want it to be a mess in here. You know, it's kind of important to me that it stays organized and clean. Some stuff I had to do just out of, you know, because I didn't have time. But now I got a couple minutes here to clean these all up. So there's that. So yeah, with all my fruit trees going in, I got a lot of these larger ones that I'm going to take advantage of this year and use them. Nope. I'm going to be using those for a lot of my Elsie didn't find that, did he? Excuse me. I'm going to use that for a lot of like my cucumbers and stuff I'm growing here. So one thing I got from last year, like all my sunflowers that I grew, I kept all the heads and everything. So I've got plenty of seeds for like my mammoth seeds, and they're all, I did a few tests. They're all good to go. But I'm really excited for these. These are my, the sunburst sunflowers that I had. They're absolutely gorgeous. They have a ton of different heads on there. They're just really pretty. So once I have those in the ground, I'll give the rest of the birds like that. Make sure that once they all come up, that is, will be good. Get them to the birds. If I have anybody, I think I could probably just undo one of these for now because I'm not going to be starting. Can I hit these two right there and just unplug this one? I think I can. I think I can do that. I can make that call. That's going to happen. I'm going to save myself a couple cents on. Of course, I don't know which one of these is which here. Of course, because I wound them together instead of having them separate. Go figure. Okay, so that's this one here, which is this one here. I can plug this one. Here, cool. All right, so that one can be unplugged. You guys can come over here and stay warm. I'm hanging out with these guys. A little party. All right, that there. So yeah, just kind of organizing a little bit before I call it a day. Yeah, it was a good day today, though. Good day with clients. Good day just kind of getting some stuff under control. And not under control, but just catching up with them too. That was really nice. This is the one guy I hadn't talked to in a while, just for reasons. And just to kind of catch up with him, make sure everything's going good. Trash is still needs to be over here. It's not quite full yet, not quite ready to go. That all right? So yeah, I think we're doing good here. Those guys can harden up a little bit. Pulls us up. So yeah, real quick, just take you guys in a quick little walk here, show you what I did in the garden yesterday. For those that weren't here for it, you can hear that generator doing its thing, but it's kicking. Still got storms around, if you can tell by my hair doing its thing. All right, so just head out here real quick. Just show you what I did here in the garden. The winter rye sure is coming up good, Same thing, got my Brussels sprouts. They're doing things. They're starting to flower a little bit. So yeah, this is, well, you guys can see that here. The best way to show you this. Probably like that. There you go. So these are the pea trellises that I put in. I've got some peas that are down here that I germinated a couple weeks ago. They're a few weeks in. They're started, and the idea is as they grow up, I just run string back and forth, and they'll just be strong across the way there. And then I've got two other here, one here and one here, which I planted some peas here, so they'll be started, and then in 2 weeks from now, I'll do the next set here. So I'll have basically, a couple months worth of peas just kind of going nuts. And then on this side over here, I've got brassicas and lettuce, and my carrots. What else? And radishes are in. So there's good stuff there. I like all of that. All right, well, that takes care of me for today. I appreciate everybody kind of hanging out with me today. Good questions across the board. Good conversation. Hopefully, if you haven't, if this isn't something you haven't done, this inspires you to, grow some stuff, get your hands in the dirt, and maybe give it a try. Pretty much all of us. I mean, I grew up as next to a farm, but look at you. There you go, man. Good to see you back. Yeah, no, I'm glad you got those tomatoes in the ground. That's great. I didn't tell you to do it. I recommended it, and I'm glad you took the initiative on that. That's great. Yeah. So with that, there's just so you know, 777 there. I have a on Reddit. There's summitbusinessguides.com or Summit Business Guides on Reddit. I'm trying to start it up here. So if you want to go onto there and follow, if you want to give a picture, actually attach a photo of your little setup that you have, where you've got your tomatoes going, that'd be cool. And then, kind of give updates throughout. I'd love to be able to share that on a stream sometime to be able to show folks. That's pretty cool. Good for you. That's awesome. Hey, by the way, just, where I was showing all those peas and everything, we had a massive storms come through, kind of like not as much rain as y'all got over there. You guys got slammed with rain, if I remember correctly, over the last couple days. But we had, 50, 60 mile an hour winds, all sorts of yuck going down. And it, my trellises, they did good. They held up just fine. So that's a plus. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Well, I've got to go. I've got to get inside the house here. I got to check my generator. Like I said, we lost power. I do need to check to see if the power is back on so I can turn it off. But if not, I got to refuel it up. So thank you for stopping by. It was good to see everybody that came by today. It was a good conversation. Again, be sure to subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that way you can get, give you a heads up when I'm going live. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.